Welcome to my YouTube channel, Victor the Analyst. In our part two, we actually talked about how to analyze our data. So in this our part three, what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be start creating our dashboard. So what is a dashboard? A dashboard is where all our charts is being put together in just one sheet, whereby you can slice through and see what's going on in those charts. So what a dashboard entails the title, the KPI, the chart, and slicer. So we'll continue with our analysis by creating of our dashboard. So for us to create our dashboards, we need to create a new sheet. So let's create a new sheet and rename this to dashboard. Let's rename this to dashboard. I'll click on enter. So in our dashboard, we need to um, create space. Then I'll click on this point. I'll click on full screen mode. So then we have it like this. So we need to cut the part that is actually not needed and leave the part that is needed. For in this my case, my system runs from A down to and ends in U. So I'm going to shift this one more side and I'll say from A, and I'll click on V, Control Shift, right key, and right click here, and I'll click on hide. So in this down part, I'm going to click, this piece, I'll include this part as well. I'll say from 33, then I'll go 34, 35, click here, and I'll say Control Shift and the down key in my keyboard. I'll come here, right click, and I'll click on hide. So that's going to cut that part for me. So I'll come up here, I'll say I want to hide, go to my views, then I'll uncheck my headings, then I'll uncheck the grid lines. So here we have this. So there's one more thing that we still need. We want to change our default color to the color that we actually want. We don't want to use this color. This is a default color from Elzo. So I'll go back to where I saved my color code, and I would come here. So I'll copy this, Control C, and go back to Elzo, and go to my dashboard. Or I can just come here and just say, click up here. I would go to page layouts, the color drop down, then I'll click on customize colors. So I'm going to change my accent 1 to, and I'll click on more colors. So where you have this X, I'll select this. So I'm going to say something. Some system does not have this X, that is hexagon. If you don't have this hexagon, just take this color code and go to Google or use ChatGPT and paste it on ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT to help you give you the RGB of this hexagon. So ChatGPT will give it to you, so you can come here and paste the 3 numbers there. But in my own case, my system has hexagon, and I'll click on OK. The accent 2, I'll click on the drop down, I'll click on more colors. I'll go back to this part. Let me open this as well. I'll select this and I'll do Ctrl C, come up here, and I'll go to here, and I'll select and I'll do Ctrl V. I'll click on OK. So we have these two. Then I'll rename this to Samtech Work. Then I'll click on save. Understand? So automatically our system will change the color. We change the color to this. So you now see what we have here. The system will change the color to this. So let's start VM. Let's go back to our dashboard. So I'll click here. I'll do Control A. I want to color my background. I want to bring in my background. I'll right click here, and on my paint, click on the drop down. Then I'll choose the color I want. I want this color, the color that I use on my Accent 1, which is dark teal. I'll click on that. That is going to be my background. So the next thing, I'm coming up here, I'll go to insert. I want my shape. I'll click on the shape drop down. Then I'll click on this. So I'll click, hold, drag down, and drag to this point. So now we have it like this. So on a default, our what's it called, our template, let me say our shape, always take the first color. Let's always take the color of Accent 1. So we don't want to use that color. We right click up there, then we'll go to fill, drop down, then I'll choose black. I want to use black as my color. The I'll come to the outline. I don't want my outline, so I'll say outline. I'll choose no outline. So now we have that. So let me click here. I'll do Control C, Control V. So this is going to copy and paste this, and I'll resize the size to this point. Then I'll say Control C, Control V, bring that here. Control C, Control V. Okay, I think that didn't work. Control C, Control V. Okay, bring that here as well. Control C, Control V, bring that here as well. So let me check my KPI. We have like this 4 KPI, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I would come back to my dashboard. So my slicer is going to be here. I want to make these things a little bit big. So I'll click on Shift, click this one, click this one, click this one as well. Select everything and drag it a little bit front. I think that was okay like this. So I'll change, bring this one up here to this part, to this part, to this part. Yeah, and I'll have this. Yeah, that's good. So the next one, I want to click here. I'll do Control C, Control V, and we have this right this. And yeah, I'll do Control C, Control V. I'll bring that down here as well. Click here. I'll say Control V, so C, Control V. Sorry. Come to this point here. Control C and V. Then to this point. We know. Remember that we have only 4 charts that we need to bring to our dashboard. So place my hand on what's it called, and I'll adjust this. I want to adjust this a little bit to make it a little bit big. Click on this. I'll make it a little bit big. Let's click on this as well, make it big. Then you drag this one down a little bit. Just make sure it's thick. Okay, yeah, here we go. So I would extend this to this point, then extend this up here. So let me click extend this up here. So there you go. So yeah, what next? I would drag this one down up a little bit. click on this up. Yeah, so here we go. I'll click here, I'll drag front, click here, I'll drag to the front, click here, and I'll click here and I'll drag to the front, click here and drag to the front. So now that's good. I would so now I want to align this my templates, make it in the same line. Put your hand on shift, click this, make sure you uncheck this, click this. Yes, this is not highlighted. You come here, stay your hand still on shift, then you click this, and click this as well. So we're gonna come up here, you say shape format, then we'll go to align. I'll click on align top, that will arrange it in the according order, and I'll say distribute horizontally. So now that we have the good, we have it good, perfect. Now so the next thing that we need to do is we want to start bringing in our charts. Let's start bringing in our charts. I will come to this. Oh, that means I've not done my revenue, my US. Let me check this. I've not done this as well. So let me select on this. I want to change the number format. Right click, I will click on number formats, then I'll go to click on currency. I'll leave my symbol as dollar and change it to 0, and I'll click on OK. So this will change the number format for me. So let's wait, it's still loading. Don't know what was wrong with my system. So now that has come up, sorry. So we need to go up here. We want to insert our charts. I'll click on pivot table, analyze, click on pivot charts, then I'll click on this. So now we have this, right? So on the US review, click here, come up here, I'll go to what's it called, my pivot table, analyze, click on pivot charts. I still want to use my column chart as well. I'll click on OK. So now here we have this as well. Our revenue, did I do revenue by year? No, I don't want to do my revenue by year. I'll delete this. Don't want this. Yeah, don't want this. So sales trend, we have it like January, February, March. I want to abbreviate this in my January to be like JAN. So I will go up here to my power pivots where we have I'll click on manage. I want to abbreviate the January to be JAN, February to be FEB, and March to be MAR. Just shorten it so we can't. So let's make it come up. So now I'll go to this is my calendar. So I'll click on this. I'll come here. I'll remove just one M. I'll click on enter. Then I'll come to the day of week. Click this, backspace, and I'll click on enter. So we have it like this. Then we'll cancel this. So let's wait for it to refresh. Yeah, so that's good. And it's showing April, February. Okay, now what we need to do is let's do something. Go back to our power pivot. So we need to select this. We click on sort by, click on sort by column. Then I'm going to change, I'll say sort by month number. That means I'm saying sort this column by the month number. So anywhere you see one equals to January. Anywhere you see two is equals to February. Then I'll click on OK. So the same thing with, let's do this one before we go to the our charts. So we click on sort by, then click on sort by column. Then we choose we sort by day of the week number. Then click on OK. So this one is going to sort our days of the week with our days of the week number. That means where we have one is going to relate it to Sunday. Where we have two is going to rename it to Monday. So now let's go back. Let's just close this and we go back to this. So this is going to rearrange our work. So now let's come here. So we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday. So now back to our dashboard. Let's see. So let's start calling out our charts. Let's start bringing in our chart to our dashboard. So I'm going to select this. I'll say Control C and go to this our dashboard. And I'll come here, click here. I'll do Control V. So let me adjust this. Adjust this up as well. Bring this down. So I'll click on this and I'll say delete. Right click and I'll say hide office buttons on charts. I would click on the grid lines, or probably I'll just come to this plus sign. I would uncheck the grid line, click on this legend here, or probably just come and uncheck the grid line, uncheck the legend I mean. So I don't want to leave my as is, I want to use my data label. So I'll go to click on check my data label, so I have it here. Click here and I'll click on delete on my keyboard. So now I want to format our background. So I'll right click on my background. I'll say fill, no fill. Oh no, I need to click here. I'll right click. So let me see, let me show us something. We have our inner chart and we have the outer part of our chart. So if you want to work on when it comes to the background, you don't need to click on the inner chart. Click on the outer side of the background. Click here, right click, and you go to fill, and you said no fill. The outline drop down, we say no outline. So click this, right click, we say the outline, we say no outline. I don't know, let me click on the, okay, yes, click on here. We click on the words, right click, we say the outline, we choose no outline. So this is going to remove our outline. So now we have it like this. So we want to change the color of our font. I'll click on the font. So it has highlighted all the old data label. I'll right click it and I'll click on font. So the font color, I'll click on the font color drop down. Then I'll choose gray. Let's check. This is light gray. Then I'll click on light gray. I'll click on OK. Choose it as well. Right click. I'll click on font. Click drop down. Then I'll choose light gray and I'll choose OK. So the next thing that remains is we want to bring in our title. We want to bring in our title. So I'll come up here. I'll go to insert. I'll go to the shape drop down. The shape drop down and I'll click on the text box. I'll come here, click, drag down, then drag forward like this. So now we have this like this. So we're going to say user experience. No, it's going to be all caps lock. User experience review. So user experience review. So now I'm going to select this. I want to adjust work on my font. I'll go to the home. I'll click on my font number. I'll change this to, let's say 20 is too much. No, I'll make it 14. Yeah, I'll make it bold. And my color, I'll choose the color to be gray. So now let's adjust this. So up here, I'll come back here again. I'll choose this and I'll choose this as well. And would break this to the middle. Bring this to the middle. So I would right click here. So let me explain something to us. So if I bring my mouse here, if it shows something like this, like you cannot actually edit the background, because now we are done editing the text, that is the font. We want to edit the background, which is the white that is under this our font here. So for you to do that, you need to bring your mouse to this edge here. You can see here, I'll right click like this. Once I right click, it's giving me option. But once you have your mouse like this and you right click here, it's not going to give you what you actually want, because you're telling the system that you will just want to do editing based on the fonts. But if I want to do my editing based on the what's it called, the background, I'll right click on the edge, which is showing like this. I'll bring my mouse to this point. I'll right click it, then I'll say fill drop down. I'll choose no fill. Outline, I'll say no outline. So now we have this like this. So user experience review. So I will click here. Let's leave this. So we want to bring in our next chart. So let's go to our what's it called, revenue by products. I'll click on this and I'll do Ctrl C. I'll go down to my dashboard, click here and I'll do Ctrl V. Yeah, so I would click here and I'll delete, drag this to this point, click here, I'll delete it. I'm not using my assets, I want to use my data label. I'll drag this to this point, right click, I'll say hide all field button on charts. I'll drag this up as well and I'll drag this down. Click here, I'll delete the title because I want to use this title I have here. I will drag this down a little bit just to accommodate this our title here. I'll click on the plus sign, then uncheck the grid lines. So now I want to work on the background. Now I'll come here, right click, I'll say fill, no fill, outline, no outline, then click on this, right click here, I'll say outline, no outline. So now let's right click again, we'll go to font, click on the drop down, I'll choose gray, I'll choose OK. So it has changed this our fonts to gray. So I want to bring in my data label. I'll come here, check this, I have my data label here, click on this, my data label, right click on it, I'll click on fonts, then click on the font color drop down, then I'll choose gray, I'll click on OK. So it's going to show as well. So I'll come here instead of me going back to my Excel to bring in a text box shape. I'm going to use this one. I'll just do Control C. I'll just highlight it. So once you have this that is blinking, it will not work. You need to come to this edge and click it here so that the blinking will stop. Then you do Control C, Control V. Then you come to this edge here. It must have 4 cardinal points before it can move, because if you bring it to this point trying to move it, you see it's not working. But I need to come down to my 4 cardinal points. Before you can get that 4 cardinal points on your cursor, you need to make sure you go to the edge of the templates of the text, text box. Go to the edge and click this, hold it, then drag to this point. So I'm going to do something. I still want to make this a little bit short. So this is short a little bit. So I will just click here, then drag down. Then this is going to be this is going to be this is going to be revenue by it's going to be revenue by laptops. So now we are done with our first chart, second chart. Now we're going to the third one. So it's going to be our sales trend. Click here, Control C. I'll take it to my dashboard and I'll do Control V, and I'll adjust this a bit. I'll bring this down as well. Adjust this. Click here, press delete on your keyboard. Right click on this, say hide all feed buttons on charts. So we would click on this, click on delete. I'm going to use my data label for that one. I'll click, no, that's not what I want to do. Control Z. Make sure when you're doing you're working with your charts, don't touch the middle, don't touch the inner charts. Then click here, then do inner part of your chart. Don't touch the inner part of your chart, because click on this point, then bring it up like this. So we have it like this. So it's going to showing like we have only just 4 months in 2021 and 4 months in 2022 as well. Then click on this plus drop down and I will check the grid lines. Alright, come up here, right click on that, then I'll go to what's it called, the fill. I'll say no fill. The outline, I'll say no outline. So now I'll click this, right click, then I'll go to outline, say no outline as well. So I'm going to click on this, right click, I'll go to click on the font, I'll click on the drop down, I'll choose my gray, choose the gray, click on the gray, I'll click on OK. So now I'll go to my data label, check my data label. So now I really want to format my what's it called, I want to format the revenue we have on our sales trend. I'll come to my sales trend, just click on that. I'll click here and I would right click. I'll go to number format. I'll go to currency. I'll change the decimal place to 0 and I'll click on OK. So now here we go. I'll click on the dashboard. So click this, right click. I would click on the font. On the font color drop down, then I'll click on this color, click on OK as well. So now here we have this so I'll click this part, I'll do Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Then to this part, click and drag down. Here I'll click and drag this a little bit down. So now let's do something. I'll come here or drag this up a little bit. So I would do something. Let's click on this. Click on this part. Click here. So I want to align this to be in proper form. Uh, Pressing my hand on shift, then we click this as well. So I'll click on this too. So I will say go to shapeform. I just want to try this if this is gonna work. I'll say distribute, align me. No, that didn't work. I'll do Ctrl Z. Distribute doesn't work as well. Align top. No, Ctrl Z. I'm not sure this is gonna work. So let me just leave this as well. Let me snip this. So you're actually done with this 1, 2, 3. It remain one more. So I'll go to my revenue by day by year. This is what we're going to use. Click on this chart. I'll do Control C. Back to my dashboard. Then I'll do Control V. So we have it like this. I would actually drag this down. I would come here, right click. I'll say hide of piece button on chart. Click on this part, then delete. I'll bring my legend up here. Click on this. I'll say data. No, not data label. I don't know my data label. So my data label. So let me do something. Do Ctrl Z. We're not doing call out, please. Let me do something. No, I'm not doing call outs. Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z. Okay. So try gonna do more Ctrl Z. So I don't know if I can drag this up here. And drag this up here. Click and drag this up here. Click and drag this up here. Click and drag this down here. Click and drag this up here. And click and drag this up here. So that's where you go. Click and drag this up. Click and drag this up here. 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 Let me see. Click and drag this up here. Click and drag this up here as well. So there you go. I want to click on this drop down. Click on that plus, sorry. Then I'll go to my grid lines. So I would click on this grid line. Then I'll go to major, check my major vertical, and I'll check this. So actually my major vertical is not showing, so I would try going to do something. Let's see. I'll right click this. I'll say no fill. Click on this part. I'll say no outline as well. Then let me uncheck my grid lines. So it's not working. This guy is actually not working. Then click here. Now I'll say right click. Then I'll click on font. I'll change this drop down and make it gray. click on OK. Click here, right click, and I'll make this font. Click on fonts. I'll click on this drop down. I'll make it gray. I'll click on OK. So now I would drag this one down. So let's click this, right click. I'll click on the fonts. I'll click on the fonts color drop down. Click this and I'll click on OK. So select this. Do Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and drag this to this place. So let's change this to sales trend. Sales trend. So I'm going to change this to revenue by day by year. Revenue by day by year. So now we have this revenue by day by year. Come to this middle year. Let's bring it to this middle year. So this as well, let's bring it to the middle. So we have it like this. Good. So the next thing that we want to bring in, let's make our, click on this plus sign, our legend. So click here. We see we're gonna put it on the top. Let's say it's 2 stack in the top. I think it's more better here. Pin at the top. So we're gonna click on our legend. Right click. Click on the font. Change this charge, the color drop down. We choose this as well. Then we'll click on OK. So the next part is what is it called? We're going to start bringing in our KPI. But if you notice something, we notice that the thickness of this this is bigger than this. So we want to make it the same color, the same size. Let's click on this. Let's see what's happening here. So I would right click on this and I'll say format data series. So we have minus the gap width is 219%. I'll do Ctrl C, click here, right click, format data series. Oh, we have the same. So I think there's nothing wrong with the size. I think it's the same. It's just that it's not really showing because this is more bigger than the values of you have here, the visuals we have here. So that's why it's actually not showing. So now let's start bringing in our KPI. Go to the KPI, extracting, say equals to if error tab. I'm going to click on this, say comma, then I'll say 0, I'll shift 0, enter, and I'll say equals to if, come down, tab, click on this, say comma, 0, and I'll say enter. So the next one is going to be, I would come here, say equals to if error, click on tab, click this, comma, 0, close the brackets. So let me explain this. Sorry. If what I'm trying to say is that if this value comes as error, give me 0. So I'll click on enter. Say if error, double click on this. Say click this, comma 0, shift 0, enter. So now let me format this. Click here, right click. I'll go to what's it called? Format cell. Then I'll go to currency, to decimal place, and I'll click on OK. Click here, right click. I'll go to format cell. I'll go to currency 2 and 2. Then I'll click on OK. Click here, right click. I'll go to format cell. So this is going to be in percentage. I'll click on percentage. Oh no, let's right click, format cell, percentage. I'll change it to 0 decimal place and I'll click on OK. So now we have it. Then let's start calling in our value into our. So I'm going to select this. This is what I'm going to use. I'll do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll come to this edge here, click it, and bringing it up here, bring it up here. I'll readjust it to fit in inside here. Then I'll do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Then I'll bring it, come to this edge, drag it down. And I'll drag this down as well. Drag this down to this point. So let me start calling in my KPI. So I'll rename this to, I'll say workspace, say total revenue. So I'll come here, just go to my view, click on my view, click on the formula bar. Then here I'll say equals to, then I'll go to my KPI, click on this and say enter. So I would double click inside here. I'll say Ctrl A, come to this part, I'll click on home. So it's been selected, but okay, yeah, it's selected. Then I'll come to this drop down, then I'll choose the gray. The number of the font number, I'll make it 18. I'll do bold for that. So I'm going to actually duplicate this as well. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll bring that here. Yeah, I'll do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll bring that here as well. Okay, so let's see. Bring that here as well. Click here. So this point, I'll do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Drag here. So let me arrange this proper shape. Click here, do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Bring it to this point. Do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Bring it to this point. Then I'll click here and do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll bring it to this point, drag it here as well. Okay, now good. Let me start formatting the data. So I would change this to total transaction, average order value, AVG dot order value. So click here, I'll say growth rate, growth rate. So that's good. So for me to get my total transaction, let me click here. Oh, what happened? Click here. Double click inside here. I'll come here. Just do backspace. Go to my KPI. Total transaction. I'll click here. I'll click on enter. This guy here. That is average order value. Backspace. I'll go to my KPI. Click on this. Click on enter. My growth rates I would double click inside here, come here, backspace, and I'll go to my KPI, click here, click on enter. So now I'll do something which using paint. I'll select this, come up here, double click on this, click here, click here, click here. So we've selected that. So come up here, we uncheck this. So now we come to this point here up here, click on the views, uncheck our formula bar. So now we want to do our title. We are done with our charts, the KPI. So before we say we are done with our KPI, let's do something. Let's select this. Put your hand on shift and select all your KPIs. Select everything. Then we'll come up here, go to shape format, the align, drop down, we say align top, align, we say distribute horizontal. Let's see what that one's going to give us. Good. So we've actually aligned our KPIs and our, what's it called? So we can actually align this one too as well. Click on shift, click everything you have here. I think this is arranged well. Then we'll say shape format, align, say align sub. So now once you start having, click here, click on this point, say Control C, Control V. Let's bring it to the here, this point here, click here and drag to this place. So now this is where we have our title. We are going to write the name of the industry. In our case, the name of the industry is Samtech. So come here, we say Samtech industry. Industries, industrial analysis. So let's adjust this. Select this, come up here, go to the home. I'll make this to be 28. Let's see what that's going to give us. So I drag. So we have this Samtech. So I'm going to click on this. Click on this as well. So I'll say show me this way. So I'm actually going to click this and bring it to this point. So now we want to write our year. Our year is in 2021 and 2022. We're going to do Control C, Control V. Come to this part here, select this and bring it to this point here. So I would actually select this. I'll say 2021 2022. So adjust this and I'll bring it to this part. So this is my analysis, and I say the year, and I give them the year. So now what remains here is just the slicer. I'll come up here. I'll go to, I'll click on one of the charts. First of all, let's click on one of the charts. Go to pivot charts, analyzer. Then I'm going to set slicer. So I'll click on all. Then I'll click on my year. Click on OK. So this is my slicer. I'll right click here. I'll say report connection. I'll check on all the pivots we've created to help us record connection to them. Click on OK. So let's click on this and bring it to this point and drag this upward a little bit. Just drag this upward a little bit. So now we want to format our slicers. So come up here. We go to slicer. So these are the slicer they give to us, but we don't want to use that. We click on the drop down. Click on say new slicer style. The whole body is all this body. So we're going to choose format. Choose the theme. We're using this. Okay. The header. So this is what's gonna happen. The header. So let's leave the header. The header. Let's change the header format. We change the header to this. That is sorry. Say let's clear this. The fonts. We change the font header to this. No, this is it. Then we click on OK. No, so now I want to click on selected item with data. Check that. We go to the view. We're going to choose this. Go to the font. We're going to choose black. Click on OK. And we're going to say, oh no. So let's use this one now as just a beginner guide. Say let's rename this to Sam Tech. Then we'll click on OK. So come up here to make the changes. See, we want to use this person here. So this come out as this. So on a logical sense, this is my chart. So if I click on this, click on this, you can see that it's actually really working. Click on this, click on this as well. So I'll uncheck this. So now, so in our dashboard, we remember that we actually want to test two hypotheses, which is was the websites the company change, was it the reason for the drop in revenue? And the second one was the product that was removed and added, because remember that it was Lenovo that was added to the business and Samsung was removed. So we are going to check. We remember that we said that in 2021 the revenue was okay, while in 2022 the revenue came down. So we click on 2021. Let's see what's going on in 2021. We see that the company, the customer review was, that is the user experience review, was having a 79 let me not say percent, I'm not converting this to percent yet. Let me just say that it has a very good what's it called, user interface experience. There's user experience. But in this our case, in the other hypothesis that we test, we noticed that HP, yes, was doing well, and Dell Nest and Samsung was actually still doing well, but not up to Dell. So in our sales trend, we noticed that there was a downward trend or in revenue. So let's go to next one. I want to click on. Let me wait. So let me click on this to clear the chart, to clear the filter. So yes, I will click on 2022. So in 2022, the growth rate was minus 35%. So now if we're going to check on something, we're going to see that the Lenovo they added was doing good, was doing well. Yes, because it actually came up. So now in the user experience, the experience in the following year, which is 2022, was having the variable was came out the more. That means the customer was not really don't didn't like their website. So from these two charts, we can actually deduce that draw out an insight that the customer does not really like the website based on the new interface they created. The customer are not really they don't really like the website, so they need to go back to their previous user interface. And for the Lenovo was not the problem of the downward trend, because Lenovo is doing well after adding it. So what we're going to advise the company is for them to keep Lenovo and bring back Samsung. And because even HP was not doing well compared to what Lenovo was doing in the previous year. So that's about our analysis. So this is how to solve a business problem when um, you want to use data analysis to do it. The first process is using your McKinsey um, problem framework, trying to know how to draw out your potencies, which are potencies you're going to text. Because first of all, you can't solve a problem if you don't understand the problem. So that's just this about it, Sha. So now we've come to the end of the tutorial for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you don't forget to subscribe and like, and share with your friends. And that is it. Thank you very much, and see you next time. You're welcome.